Live. Wait.
Woo.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, we're live. Hello, and welcome to the stream, everybody. My name is Sunny B. I am your host here at Room 420. And today, we have a bit of a special guest with us here. We have Mr. Mike Ames of the band Descent.
What's up? Special is a short bus special.
Oh, we love it. But I do see you have a little bit of a different name on your Zoom name there, Metal Mike. And I was doing a little bit of digging on you, and I found out that you were also in a little bit of a rap group.
Not a group.
Not a group, just you? Just you as Metal Mike doing rap? Metal Mike rap.
That's kind of why I did it, because I was tired of looking for musicians, And this was like, 10 years ago, back when there weren't a lot of white rappers.
Yeah, I get
so I was
that.
like, man, I can do this by myself. Oh shit, I'm gonna jump in on this. I did that for a little while. Music when it comes down to it.
Hell yeah. Yep, and I saw something about Mr. Jones that was with you.
That was my old partner. He used to write all the beats and stuff. He's the one that got me into it. And then once we started going live, he was like, "Nah, I just want to be a producer. You can go do the live thing." I was like, "All right, no worries."
Hell
No
yeah.
worries. He's my rap mentor.
Hell yeah. Love to
Yeah.
hear that.
Fuck yeah. So I kind of dabble in all the worlds,
Yeah. Ooh, sorry, burp. We were having a bit of a safety meeting before we started the podcast. We were
Hell yeah.
enjoying ourselves a little bit, having a little discussion while we got everything set up.
The cool thing about doing rap is I can do more, I guess you could say, weed-oriented stuff without being weird.
Yeah, I totally understand that.
I have like a big microphone, it's like a big giant joint I can blow smoke out of and shit. It's like, people are like, what? Is he really smoking that? It's like, yeah. If I pull that out at a metal show, people are like, what the fuck is happening right now? So,
Yeah, there is a lot more room for stuff like that. I guess I could see that 100%, yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, well, that's
Unless
like...
your band is all about weed, then you'd have to do that as a metal band,
Well, yeah, I mean, that would have to be like for example, not even... They're not metal, but there are a rap group, Cottonmouth Kings.
Yeah.
Their whole shtick is weed, so I mean, you'd have to be like a metal Cheech and Chong or something like that to pull something like that off.
Definitely.
Since we're on the topic of smoking, I know you're a pretty big pothead. I heard word through the vine. What's your favorite way to smoke?
I like to smoke blunts. Specifically, let me find. Hold on. Specifically,
Gotta appreciate all the guitars and Marshalls in the background. Phillies! Oh my god, yes!
but these are chocolate Phillies.
My god, dude, you have no idea how long I've been like, man, you guys have never heard of Phillies? No one's ever heard of Phillies? Dude, I think I still have it open on a tab on my phone. Oh, I had to Google it to show someone because they didn't know what Phillies were. I'm like, dude!
Here's how much I love Phillies.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Phillies are the shit, man.
They're the only ones that make the chocolate ones. It's like, it's not just a flavored wrap. It's like a darker chocolate wrap. You know what I'm saying? It's like noticeably different.
Yeah.
When you're done smoking it, man, all the resin makes like little chocolate nuggets of like roaches. So when you smoke them, it's just like, oh, it's like smoking a Snickers, man. Fucking killer.
Oh, man, yeah, we're definitely going to have to link up. Which probably is going to be happening pretty soon, chat. I'm not sure if you guys know this, but Mike here is going to be at this South by Southwest showcase, which we are going to be down there too. We're all going to be able to hang out and have a good time.
Party, kick it, talk about smoking, talk about how we hide smoking.
Because we all do it. Every single one of us.
I don't even hide it anymore. I just I've been on tour for too long, so it's like I kind of just get off the tour bus and smoke a joint. And now when I'm not on a tour bus, I just smoke a joint. Like, oh yeah, I'm not on tour. Nah, nobody cares.
Yeah, it's like everybody knows nowadays anyway. Nobody really cares about pot anymore. It's like everyone's kind of moved on to bigger fish. Like there's way worse things out there.
For sure. Especially to cause a hullabaloo about, No one's like, oh, he's smoking a joint. Who cares?
So it's like saying the same. That's like the same thing. That's like freaking out. Oh my God, he's smoking a cigarette.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it used to be the same way. Yeah. Now it's just like whatever. I like how when I go up to cigarette smokers, I'm like, I got a blunt, and they're like, oh, I can't handle the tobacco.
I know a few
What?
people like that. I know a few people
What?
like that.
I think that's why I smoke it with the tobacco, because I don't smoke cigarettes, so the tobacco gives me that extra kick.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know someone who grinds up all their stuff with. They'll take and gut out Dutches. I know quite a few people that do it, and they'll take the insides of the Dutches and run it through a grinder and mix it up 50-50 and pack their bowls that way.
Like spliffs. I do that, but I do it with the outside wrapper. The inside of Phillies could be like just wood chips and and whatever else. But the outside's at least where the flavor's at. So I'll tear off the outside and pack that into a bowl first as the screen.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm a big fan. So mostly when I roll, I don't get. I haven't seen Phillies sold around where I'm at in a long time. So normally what I do is I get backwoods, and they have when you get a backwood and you go to roll it, you have to tear a little bit of the corner off, anyways, when you roll it. So I just use that little bit of the corner and use it to spread what I got left out and make it last a couple extra bowls.
There you go. There you go. I always break mine in half, so I have two little tiny blunts. It was like, I can't fill the whole blunt. It's like, you ain't got to make it as fat as it was when it was manufactured. A blunt paper is the same thing as a regular paper. Just use it the same way.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, you just got to know how to work it. I mean, I could understand people who struggle with like swishers and stuff like that, because when you split those and try to roll those, they're like cardboard. So it's like
and they're real tiny. There's not a lot of room to roll it. You know what I'm saying? Like, these are like the JOBs of cigarillos.
Oh yeah.
You know, there's more room to actually wrap it, because I'm not very good at rolling. I can only roll blunts, really. I just roll like paper bags of weed if I were to try to roll a joint.
Oh shit. Well, speaking of trees, isn't that the name of the venue that you work at? And aren't you?
The name of the venue. It is. It's the Legendary Trees, Dallas. Once beat up.
So I'm curious, what are some of your favorite stories from working there?
From working there?
Yeah.
Oh man, probably one of the craziest times was when it was like this. I think it was maybe a South by Southwest or South by So What kind of festival thing that was kind of finishing up here in Dallas, and there was this band. I will find the band name out later. I forgot. I don't know if I even should say their name. They were wasted, and they kind of came on stage. They were headlining that night, and they kind of came on stage with an agenda to cause some shit, cause some ruckus. The singer kept putting the microphone down his pants. He kept dropping it. They just kept being rude to the sound guys, and the sound guy's like, "Hey, I'm gonna cut him off if he keeps acting like a piece of shit." You know what I'm saying? He keeps throwing our mic down, popping the speakers, like, and our manager's like, "He's got one more time. If he does it, he's out of here." So he did it almost immediately right after that. Our sound guy cut him off, and the band flipped out. They started pulling the curtain down. They started fucking chunking trash cans and shit. Our security fucking tackled them, and they got tackled, and everybody got tackled, and the whole room got tackled, and it was a fucking disaster. It was crazy.
Jesus.
I was wearing a Batman onesie, and you can see me in the video getting on stage, looking around like I'm trying to save the day when the fight's already almost over, like an idiot.
In a Batman onesie? Wait. How did we get there?
Well, when I do lights, when I was on tour, I used to wear like different masks and stuff. So I'd be jamming at front of house, rocking out, and it'd be like a gorilla mask or a skull mask or something. And the guys on, the band I was working for would be like, "Oh shit," so they always kind of tell where I was at, and it was always just kind of fun. And that kind of just rolled over into like costumes and onesies and whatever weirdness I can do back there. So people are like, "What the fuck is going on over there?" It's kind of a distraction, kind of for fun, If I can do it, why not? That's the beauty of working in rock and roll.
Oh yeah.
Be as weird and fun as you want, so that everybody has a good time. So fuck it. So that's kind of how that molded over to the rap stuff. When I started rapping, I started to make my mask where I could move the jaw. So I'd have skull masks now, where I'm fucking rapping and taking skull masks off, and rapping and taking those skull masks off, and you're like, what the fuck is happening? So that's kind of where the whole costumes and rap and props, stage props and stuff kind of started with me doing lighting and just having fun.
Hell
I think it started
yeah.
as maybe a dare one time or something. I just kept doing it. I don't know.
That's just because you were just like, just so casually like, yeah, there was everybody, and then they were drunk, and then everybody was chasing everybody, and then you see me in a Batman onesie, and I'm like, wait, hold on, what? This is like the most like fucking cut scene. You get to see your own player character and the cut scene type shit.
Totally. Like you look on YouTube, you see the fight happen, you see them pull the curtain down. At the very end, you see just me walking around like, what's going on here? It's like, who's that guy in a Batman onesie? Like, where the fuck did he come from? That guy works there?
That's great.
So,
That's great. Also, I love your shirt, by the way. Is that your own custom merch?
Yeah, custom merch. We decided to give the homage to Pantera.
Hell
You've
yeah.
seen the Pantera shirt, it says Pantera instead of Descent.
Yeah. That
So
looks
we
fucking
decided
dope.
Being from Texas is only fitting, I guess.
Hell yeah.
Give people something they're familiar with while bringing in a new brand. I don't know.
Hell yeah.
You know.
So I was doing a little bit of listening to your music, and I kind of had a feeling that you were a little bit influenced by Dimebag with how you played. Who are some of your other influences that you have?
Initially, of course, Metallica. Way back in the day, it was always Metallica, Tool, Pantera, Slipknot, and then here more recently it became Lamb of God, Killswitch, All That Remains, and then I didn't really get much more heavier than that. The heaviest thing I'd say that I listen to now, and I say listen to as in like put it in purposely, start to finish, kind of listen to it. Just be like a Mice and Men have some pretty good records that are kind of ripping, that aren't I guess part of the trash bin of music that's out there right now. You know, there's a lot of bands I like one or two songs that are pretty kick ass, but it's like I don't know, I just can't. There's music I just can't gravitate to like I used to. I don't know if it's because I'm like bitter and I hear a breakdown now from a new band and I'm like, we did that years ago, you know, or what? I don't know what's going on, but it's just not. It doesn't grab you like it used to. It doesn't make you remember like you used to, you know. But Lamb of God for sure. I'm not a solo player, so Dimebag's riffs were what I kind of got into. Funny story about that is he used to own a bar out in Fort Worth called Tattoo Bar, and towards the end, I guess, of Descent's first iteration, way back in like 2000, 2001, something like that, we used to play Pantera covers there all the time as part of our set. And when they were looking for a singer for Damage Plan, they came and they watched our show. And then our Dimebag took our singer back to the studio, and they tried him out, got him wasted. Then we got to go there like 5 a.m, got us wasted. It was the most drunk times I've ever been back in the day. I think we were like 19, fucking hammered.
Hell yeah!
It's pretty cool to see him show up, and then me have to play like a solo, 5 minutes alone solo or something in front of him, which is like the easiest solo he's got. Thank God. He approved. He's pretty cool. I'm gonna put that video out here, eventually soon. I found all of our old archive stuff, but.
Hell yeah.
Good times back in the day.
Hell yeah. So was the band always called Descent? Because
it was.
I did a little bit of digging, and I feel like this might have just been like an old band that you were in, but Inside Us All, is that a band that you were in at one point?
Inside Us All that was going to be our new name when we got back together, because we weren't sure if we wanted to keep Descent going, but we found there was like 3 or 4 other bands with Descent, and we were kind of really attached to it, and they weren't kind of going anywhere with it, so we were like, okay, let's just join the list of Descents, see which one gets picked first. If there was one other band named Descent, we probably wouldn't have done it. Since there was like more than one, it's like, fuck it, we're not doing anything wrong by being another Descent. Plus we were around before all these guys back in 2000, 1999.
Yeah, I saw your first album release was in 2001.
Yeah. Which we're revamping some of those songs for the newest EP. But Inside Us All was going to be our new name, should we have to change it, which may end up being something in the future that we visit back. Things are hard to come up with nowadays, for sure.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it feels like almost every band name that you go to is like taken already.
It's taken, and it's like you don't know which ones are going to be the ones, like that roll off with like people are spitting out later. It's like cannibal, Holocaust nuns, kind of things. That's probably not going to be huge, but who thought something like Breaking Benjamin would be a giant fucking band,
Yeah, I mean, like, that is... I've heard a lot of people, like people that do, like, band reviews and, like, people that, like, compare band names. And I was watching a band name, like, list comparison once, and there was a lot of people that were, like, hard dissing on Breaking Benjamin as a name.
Yeah, it's weird for it to be such a huge brand that it is now. It's just about one guy, but it's not even his name. It's like Breaking Benjamin. It's not Benjamin's band, you know.
Yeah,
It is his band, but he doesn't call it his name. It's like kind of a play on words.
yeah,
It's a little bit better than like Hootie and the Blowfish when people keep asking who's Hootie, and there's no Hootie. At
yeah,
least Breaking Benjamin has a Benjamin.
exactly, yeah. So, I gotta say, when I was checking out some of your tracks, there were a lot of them that really caught my attention, but the track Asshole really caught my attention. Asshole and Peg Leg. Those two, I think, were my favorite. And I
Yes.
wanted to know a little bit about what went into those tracks.
Um. Oh shit, man. Those are two tracks that we recently re-released Peg Leg as Dead to Me on the new EP. Peg Leg, one of our old bass players, Robert Hibbets, he had one leg and a peg leg. Um, I'll let him tell you that story, you know, how he lost his leg or whatever. But he used to be our bass player for a little while. He's in a band now called They Tried to Bury Us. But he was, the time we were in, it was just kind of, I think maybe he had something to do with the riff or something like that. We just called it Peg Leg for a name, like just because he was around and we didn't know what to call it. And it's kind of just a fun, one of the first ones we ever wrote. It's kind of like a fun, just choppy groove riff. Same thing with Asshole. They're kind of like the album caps, the groovy album caps. You know, last thing you hear of the album is just kind of like that. Yeah, yeah, all right, yeah. Asshole was just the simplest riff ever. It's just an awkward slide from one to one. It's not even a proper riff, so it's kind of cool that it just became like a whole groove on that one. Just kind of be bouncy and fun like that. It's just a good excuse to scream about God and how he's a dick.
Awesome. Oh, yeah. So, on top of being Metal Mike, and also on top of doing Descent, I heard you also do country. Tell me a little bit about that.
Ooh, well, that's like a double path, a double entendre path. I did start when I was out on the road with Seven Dust for a while. I used to get like a new guitar every run from Guitar Center for like $100, you know, so I could keep it in my bunk. And I'd gotten this. In fact, I got it right here. It's Johnson. It's kind of funny now that I think of the name. It was like a $100 package with a guitar amp. It's kind of a cool little semi-hollow. You know, it's like a country guitar. It's everything about it screams country. So we'd sit in the back lounge. We were like, man, we should write some stupid songs and just make some money because country is so dumb. And I'm like, what? It's like, yeah, like any dumbest shit you can think of, that's probably a country song. So we just started writing, you know, simple, just kind of like the easiest chord progressions if this was intended to be better. And be like, the whiskey bottle is my savior. Now that my ex-wife married my neighbor. Just shit like that. And people be like, what? What did he say? That's what? You know, and just jump into stuff like, I make faces when I make love. Let's leave the lights off and baby, don't look up. Just shit like that. It's like,
That's great.
what's going on with that? So just kind of, you couldn't call it real country. And then that expanded into my hip hop buddy RCX. He has songs that are like hip hop country. So we kind of started to blend them together with the live drummer and bass player and stuff. And we were kind of like a hip hop country group called Lone Star Outlaws for a little while. But the solo country stuff never really got anywhere. I just didn't know how to approach it. You know, it was always a side project. I didn't know if it was like going to be taken seriously by real country people. If it would be like in the comedy genre. You know, I always thought there was golden hits there, but that's yet to be determined. I guess you could say.
Yeah, because that wacky stuff like that, it does sell. Because, I mean, it's what catches the people's attention, and they're like, hold on, did you hear what he said? Hold on, rewind that. And then they go show their friends, and then they go show
Right.
their friends, and then that's what sells. That's what catches
Right.
people's attention.
I mean, with the right context, "Save a Horse, Ride a Cowboy" could be a comedy song.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like, who would fuck a horse? Well, nobody, obviously. They're trying to tell you go fuck a cowboy.
yeah, exactly.
It's like, so is it a joke or is it not? And so it was an easy thing to do, but then it became really hard trying to actually present it as a proper project.
Yeah, I could understand that.
And I can be a gatekeeper myself when it comes to things that I'm involved in and interested in and really kind of base my life on. So I didn't want to offend anybody with any of the projects. Like I didn't want to be try to present it to country guys and then be like, is he making fun of us? Is he trying to fucking But like the rap guys like, what the fuck is this white guy doing? Is he gonna do like some Limp Bizkit bullshit? It's like I'd always go in there with the mindset of as authentic as possible. So like in all my rap songs, I maybe play guitar in like 5 of them. The rest is just straight hip hop, straight as hip hop as it could be. I earned my stripes in hip hop before I even start bothering to like mix them up, which is probably my downfall. I should have mixed them up way earlier, like Tech Nine's been doing, and fucking jumped on that bandwagon. But I kind of like to be authentic. When I do hip hop, I like it to be hip hop. When I do rock, I like to be rock. When I do country, I like to be country.
Absolutely.
That's the part. That way, no one's confused as to what they're getting into.
So I'm assuming in all 3 genres that you've played in or dabbled in, whether you consider it country or comedy country, did you get shows in all 3 categories with all 3 projects?
For South by?
Not for South by, just like in general, you like played shows with all 3, performed with all 3.
I did them all at different periods. So like the country stuff, I mixed that in as like an intro joke to my rap show. Like I would come out and start singing a country song, and people would be like, "I thought this was gonna be a rap show," and then I'd fucking cut the track and go back and take off my disguise or whatever, and then do the rap stuff. But then when we started doing the hip hop country, we kind of stuck to that for a little while, for a few months. And then once the band Distent got back together, I realized that when I tried to invite people to shows, they wouldn't know if they were coming to a rock show, a rap show, a metal show. So I kind of had to stop doing other ones to do one.
I understand that.
I did metal, for the first beginning of my life. Then I went on tour and didn't do music at all. Then I started doing rap since I could do it by myself and kind of anywhere. And then the country thing started to get dabbled in there. And then once the Descent got back together, I put all that stuff kind of on hold and just went back to my original baby,
Oh yeah.
My original meaning in life. I might be able to do it all, but there's only one thing I want to do.
Absolutely, yeah. I understand that. So that was the reason I was asking if you performed as all 3 was because I was going to ask you to tell me a story from each, as a performing from each one, like your favorite story performing as each one.
I can tell you one of the funniest times my rap performing.
Okay.
I had just played Trees, matter of fact, with Mickey Avalon, way back in the day.
Mickey Avalon's a riot.
It was my first time playing Trees, and it was like, I don't know, only one of my few actual big shows that I've ever played as a rapper. So I was a little nervous, whatever, and it was almost sold out. It was a great show. I killed it. Fans loved it. It was amazing. I was like, this is great. So about a month later, I was coming to work, and my boss is like, hey, man, we need an opener for the night. We don't have an opener. You want to do it? Because I'd just done it a month before, so they knew I could do it. And I was like, I don't have any props or anything with me, like, because I normally have like 7-foot shotguns and like giant chainsaws and shit that I run around with, and it's a whole thing. It's a whole thing when I go on stage. It's not just me and a microphone and a backpack or nothing. It's a whole thing.
It's a performance.
I was like, I don't have anything with me, but like a couple props. He's like, that's fine. So I said, yeah, I'll do it. It was a sold out show with, I think it was Suicide Boys and somebody else. Not my necessarily perfect genre of a show. I was more funny white guy rap, and they were more hardcore hoodlum rap. But I didn't know that. They were telling me, yeah, it's a bunch of young kids. So I'm thinking, all right, I'll do like a lighthearted set then. Like, wrong direction with the young kids is what I was thinking. I was thinking more Disney when I should have been thinking more, dirty and shit. But I was like, okay, cool. So I went to my trunk, and I had my Batman onesie. I had a Michael Jackson kind of jacket, and I had my skull mask. And there was a big crowd all the way around the parking lot for the show since it was sold out. And so I pulled them both out of the trunk, and I looked at the crowd, and I said, hey, what do y'all think is cooler, the Batman onesie or a Michael Jackson jacket? They didn't know what I was asking for, and they're like, the Batman onesie, Batman onesie. I was like, all right. So they kind of chose what I was going to wear on stage that night for me, since this is all I had my thing. And then right as I was about to go on, about 10 minutes before, I saw two friends of mine that usually come to other shows of other bands I work for, and they were getting turned away because I guess it was already sold out. They couldn't get tickets. And they're like, we can't get in. I was like, well, I'm playing. I need some backup dancers. Y'all want to come in and be my backup dancers? And they were like, yeah, okay, we can get on stage. I was like, fuck yeah. So like 10 minutes after my boss asked me, I show up in a Batman onesie. I got two backup dancers. He's like, what is going on? Where did you get backup dancers? I was like, man, I got this covered. Don't you worry about me. So I get on stage. The crowd's fucking going crazy. I start rapping. And about halfway through the first song, the boos start coming. Ooh, this is dumb. You suck. And it continued for 15 minutes straight. They booed the shit out of me. They picked up a trash can and they were like, you trash can.
Shit.
They got off stage. They were just like texting. They were like, I don't know what's going on. I was like, you're not even doing me any good. Get off stage. I got booed for 15 minutes straight. It was fucking hilarious. I've done a bunch of shows my entire life, seen a bunch of shows. I've never seen anybody get booed for 15 minutes straight. I took it with a grain of salt because I had just had a good show a month before. I was kind of riding that high. If I hadn't had that good show, it probably would have crushed me. But I was like, you know what? This is fucking hilarious. I said, if you guys hate this song, let me see your middle fingers. So the whole sold out crowd was middle fingers. I was like, yeah, at least you know what I'm telling you to do. Fuck that shit. But then I had to get off stage and go do lights for all the other artists. So I couldn't go anywhere. And I'm wearing a Batman onesie. So I had to get off stage and walk through this crowd that was booing me the whole time to my lighting desk and do lights for the rest of the fucking bands. And all I got was, hey man, doing your thing up there. Good job. Sucked, but doing your thing. I was like, what the fuck is going on, man? It was the craziest shit ever to get booed for 15 minutes straight.
That's awful.
That was the funniest thing ever, for sure.
I'm glad you could like see it. Like, I'm glad you played through it. I mean, like, man, there's a lot of people that I know that would have just crushed.
Man, I was the whole time I was like trying to figure out how to turn it around. You know, I was thinking, should I skip songs in the set? You know, should I try to alter it? I was like, no, you know what? I'm just gonna power through it. You know, I'm not gonna act phased by it. I'm just gonna keep going through it because it would look dumb if I started to backtrack. You know,
Yeah.
I started to look like, oh no, what am I gonna do? I was like, I only got a few more minutes left. Fuck it. You know, I took the blows as they started coming, trying to, you know, each song at a time, I'd figure out a new, what are y'all mad about? You know, what are y'all mad? Why y'all booing? Blah blah blah. And then start the next song or something. And I just kind of worked through it to keep my mind engaged on this is gonna happen.
Yeah.
You know, this is gonna happen. I mean, there's no guarantee that every time you get on stage, everyone's gonna love it.
Yeah.
So
100%.
if the whole room is booing me right now, that's the worst it's ever gonna get. I made it through that. Fuck it. Let's bring it on now.
Hell yeah. Fucking love that mentality. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's the best time I ever had a terrible show that I can remember just enjoying the shit out of. Descent shows probably would have to be back in the day. That Dimebag show that he came to was a pretty killer show. We did a lot of parties and shit back in the day when we were younger. They were all kick-ass shows. And I never really done like one or two Lone Star Outlaw shows that'd been like a straight up country show to kind of even name. They've been kind of like half hip hop, half country shows. So probably, you know, the Dimebag show and the Me Getting Booed are probably my pinnacle ones. And then the ones that are coming up in South by Southwest are going to be amazing too.
Oh hell yeah! I'm really looking forward to being at South by. And like I said earlier, I'm definitely gonna have to meet up, link up, smoke, joke, toke.
Oh, sure. Are we playing the same venues, or we all scattered out?
I'm not entirely too positive on that. I'd have to do a little bit of checking in on that. From what I can tell, maybe, possibly. I'm not too positive though. I just know we're gonna be around the same area at around the same time, so we should be able to hang out.
I'm just happy to get the fuck out of Dallas.
Oh yeah. I
You
believe
play a
that.
million shows in your hometown, but you're not doing anything useful unless you start getting outside of your zone. You know.
I believe that. Yeah. So I heard you mention Seven Dust, and you toured with Seven Dust a little bit earlier.
Yep.
And I know
Yes, sir.
you happen to be pretty good friends with Seven Dust, from a few friends that have told me.
They're
Um,
my second family for sure.
how did that come about? How did you meet them?
Man, that's probably the craziest story of my life. uh, right after Descent broke up the first time, back probably around 2000, I want to say 2004, 2003 era. Um, my old singer was in another band called Never Set from Dallas. He had joined a new band he's playing guitar with, and they had gotten an option to go on tour with Seven Dust, and they needed a lighting guy. And they hit me up and they were like, "Hey, come do our lights for our concert." And I was like, "What is a lighting guy?" And they're like, "It's the guy that controls, the concert lighting." And I was like, "Oh fuck, somebody does that shit? Like, that's somebody, that's somebody's job?" Because I was just a guitar player back then. I didn't know anything about that.
I
I
totally
was,
get that,
I
man.
was like, "What? Somebody fucking does like that's a thing?" He's like, "Yeah." I was like, "Well, how do you do it?" He goes, "I don't know, but you know computers and you're a musician, you'll figure it out." So I was like, "All right, who are you going on tour with?" He's like, "Seven Dust." I was like, "Sign me up. I don't care what the situations are. If I got to go hang out with Seven Dust for a month, let's fucking do it." So we went on tour. We were the opener. I think it was Seven Dust, 10 Years, Taproot, and us, Never Set. And we were in a 15-passenger van. There was four guys in the band and me. I was like the roadie, the lighting guy, the everything guy. And we'd gone on one like 3-week tour with them, and that was a lot of fun. We met them and got to hang out and everything like that. And then our next tour we went on is with Never Set was with 3 Days Grace, Breaking Benjamin, and Seether, and we were in arenas. So it was Never Set, this little band from Dallas nobody ever heard of, with three gigantor fucking bands. And the main reason we got on that because Brad Lukowich, the guy that he's a hockey player, he's the kind of one that kind of had the funding behind Never Set. He's friends with Morgan Rose and all the 3 Days Grace guys are all from Canada. So they kind of linked up and got us on those bigger shows. And after those shows, we went back out with Seven Dust to finish that tour up. And the second, third day, I think, of the tour, their lighting guy, I guess, got out partied by their monitor guy, and he had to go to the hospital and he had to go home. And so Seven Dust didn't have a lighting guy at the start of their tour. And our singer, Sean Hamm, who now works for Metallica, believe it or not, he was like, "Hey, Metal Mike will do it." He didn't ask me. I wasn't in the room. He just said, "Yeah, Metal Mike will do it," because I was always out front. After our set, we'd do our thing. I'd pack the trailer up, and then I'd make it back out in time to see the Seven Dust show every night. So I'd be up in front of house, soundboard, fucking jumping and screaming, singing all the songs. The sound guy's like, "Who the fuck is this annoying guy fucking singing songs every night?" And they're like, "Oh, that's the lighting guy for the opening band." "Oh, okay, I guess it's all right if he's here." So they knew I knew the songs. And I guess I was doing a good enough job with my their lighting guy, Stewie. He set me up on his console when we first got there. I didn't know anything about lights. He's like, "You got red, blue, yellow, green, and crowd lights. I'll see you later. Go and take a nap." And I was like, "Oh shit, all right." So I was just hitting buttons to the best of my knowledge for the first 6 months or whatever for my lighting career. On the 3 Days Grace tour, since it was in an arena, they had a kind of a lighting guy for all the bands. So I was like the stage tech, security guy. I had to be a snare stand for one song one time in front of arena. People's snare stand broke, so I was kind of the stage monkey. And then back to lighting for the Seven Dust tour, and they said, "Metal Mike will do it." So they came up to me and said, "Hey, so we lost our lighting guy. You wanna cover for a couple days?" And I didn't know a thing about lighting. I didn't know a thing about what it would entail to do their light show. But I was like, "Yeah." Like, I'm not gonna say no to this. If I fail, I fail. If I don't, I don't. How bad could it be? So that night, me and the bass player for that band, we sat in the front of the van and we just listened to every Seven Dust song on the set as intently as we could before the show to make sure I had all of the timing right on each song. This happens in this song. This happens in this song. Oh, get it all down. And that first night, I went in there and rocked it out. And they were like, "Cool, good job." And then they never got anybody else for like the next 5 years. I was the guy.
Oh yeah.
So they, and I remember just a couple of weeks before that, me sitting with the band being like, wouldn't it be cool if Seven Dust liked my lighting? And they were like, you should be our lighting guy. We're like, yeah, it's never gonna happen. And then it happened. And then, they started teaching me how to do real lights. I went from the van to the tour bus immediately, which was a big shock. I'd never been around famous people, much less sleeping right next to them in a tour bus. Uh, Scared out of my wits, not knowing what I was getting myself into. But fake it till you make it, I guess. And then from there, I went on to like Iced Earth. I went out with Morbid Angel a couple times. I went out with 10 Years a couple times. 3 Days Grace a couple times. I kind of ran the gamut of jumping through bands, uh, that I'd always been my heroes. And now all of a sudden I'm running their lights, hanging out with them. So, that's what put my music on hold is now I'm on the tour bus professionally, skipping all those other steps, all the other roughing it in the closet, roughing it in a van, blah, blah, blah. I'm on a tour bus traveling the world with bands that are famous. Why would I give that up for anything? So I thought that's definitely going to help my music career when it comes back around.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
going to use this to learn and gain and mingle and blah, blah, blah. And it didn't help as much as I thought. It kind of put me at well, now I have to start over 15 years later because I fucking took time off to go do that. It got to a point where I was drinking too much because I was, still not accepting what I was doing, real nervous all the time. That would calm me down, and it just got to be just a crutch. And I was kind of, killing my health, and I really wanted to make my own music again. Like, you only watch the stage for so long before you want to get back on it. And it was just like, if I'm going to do this, I have to stay home and be the band, get a job at home and be the band again. I can't keep leaving every two weeks. If I'm going to be in a band, it's just not going to work out. So, I stopped touring, started working at the local venues, and started the band back up. I still talk to LeJean every other day. We're still great friends. All the guys, Vinny, Morgan, John, all those guys are great friends of mine. We've been through so much together, all around the world together. I mean, they saw me basically go from an idiot to a little less of an idiot in about 10 years. But, they kind of de-virginized me in the real world of being in a real band, a real national band, and what it takes, the sacrifices it takes, the how hard it is on the road, and just, I got spoiled because I went from van to tour bus real quick. So now it's like to do my own thing, starting back over at the beginning again. It's going to be fucking tough. I mean, we already played at empty rooms. I do all the loading myself of all the gear, so it's starting over for sure. But that was kind of an unplanned route to my dreams that I was almost there,
Well, and I'm sure it wasn't completely all in vain, because it was. I'm sure you still have plenty of connections from doing all of that, and I'm sure. I mean, like, even just like reaching out and being like, "Hey, could you like check this out?" I'm sure they'd probably check you out and like probably give you like any help. They might be able to offer help too. Who knows?
Yeah. You would think, but it's kind of nowadays that stuff's really handled. Like, people that I know, that stuff's all handled by management and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's
There's
true.
not a lot of say in, hey, I found this band, let's get them famous anymore. Bands just don't really do that anymore.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to be that guy. It's like, hey, make me famous, make me famous. It's like when I get a product ready to go and I feel it's worth it, I'm going to build it up as much as I can before I say, hey, this is what I'm doing. You guys can help me out, that's great, but this is the product. This is not a joke. This is not a game. This is serious. Because, I went from a rapper to a lighting guy to whatever. They're not convinced yet that I'm an actual metal guitar player for real. Because that's they never knew me as that. I started out as a technician to them, so to become a musician after being a technician is a weird transition.
Yeah.
Just like everybody downtown. Everybody downtown knows me as a lighting guy or a rapper. So for me to reveal, hey, I'm back doing the metal thing again, they're like, oh, that's all right, whatever. It's probably like your other stuff you do. It's just going to be whatever. But it's, they don't realize that that's not as just for fun as they think it is.
Yeah. I mean, as long you're just sharing you and you're being you, and you have a lot of different sides that you can share and a lot of different ways that you can voice it. So, I mean, like, for them to confine you as just oh, it's gonna just be like the other things. Like, no, that is just one of the ways you have of conveying and expressing yourself.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I try to be authentic in each time, so it doesn't get misconstrued as a joke or not serious.
I understand
Like
that completely.
this is a whole different world than this is. Same guy, but a whole different world, whole different structure, whole different approach.
Completely understand that.
So
So,
that's fun with that. Yeah.
so while being on tour with Seven Dust, what was one of your favorite memories from being out there?
Man, there's too many to count, and they're all not appropriate.
Ah, shit. I mean,
Yeah.
hey, this is a safe space. Feel free to share. We're a podcast. You can share whatever
No, I
you
mean
want here.
probably not appropriate for me to tell do the other guys getting into some of the things.
Respect. We can
I
keep.
mean, my favorite things that I got to experience was we got to go on tour with Avenged Sevenfold, um, in this moment, um, all the bands my ex girlfriend used to love.
Oh, in this
I was
moment.
like, hey, bitch, guess who I'm hanging out with right now, and you're not. That was great to be able to be mingling with all of her icons and her heroes. That was pretty cool. I wanted to hate Avenged Sevenfold so much when I met them, and they're the coolest guys ever.
That's okay. Awesome. I love to hear
I was
that.
I was like, man, fuck these motherfuckers. Fucking all these girls think these little pricks are. And then they're, hey, Mike, how you doing? I was like, God damn it, they're nice guys. So that was kind of a funny thing to learn that they were just really cool. Don't don't necessarily not judge books by their cover, but don't hate people because somebody else likes them, kind of thing, just because you're envious.
Yeah.
It's not their fault somebody else likes them like that. But we got to play Download Festival twice. Um, we got to play Rock 'em Ring twice, three times, with Slipknot, all kinds of badass things. When I was out with Iced Earth, we got to, I was the lighting guy for their DVD in Cyprus. We filmed the DVD in a big giant, um, like you ever seen like Pink Floyd Pompeii? It's kind of like that, like a big amphitheater, ancient amphitheater, on
Okay.
the cliffside, where it's just like a bunch of big giant steps. And the band was there. We filmed like a whole night show, but it took a. This is kind of a funny story. It was during a weekend, so the band was already out touring in Europe, and a couple of us crew guys were going to fly in and meet them on the island for the shoot. So I flew from Texas to Philadelphia, I think, and when I was leaving Philadelphia, our plane was late, so we got into London late, and I'm not really, very savvy when it comes to flying overseas by myself kind of situation. So I had, my parents' Discover card and a little cash I had and a couple phone numbers and stuff like that. And so I get to London and I haul ass over to the Cyprus flight desk booking thing, and I'm like, I need to catch my flight for, to the island of Cyprus. And they're like, yeah, that company's closed tonight. And I was like, what? And he goes, yeah, that airline shut down. They only have two flights that like leave every day because it's a small place and there's not gonna be another plane till tomorrow. And I'm like, we're shooting a DVD tomorrow. I have to be there tonight. And then they're like, well, we don't know what to tell you. And I was like, holy fuck. So I called my band up and they were in the air flying from somewhere else. So I couldn't get a hold of them. So I'm stuck in London. I have no flight out, nowhere to stay, nothing to do. So I go get lunch and I try to figure this out, try to calm down. And I try to pay for lunch with my Discover card and it's not accepted. So I'm like scrounging for whatever change in my bag I can to pay for this lunch. I think I went to like the bathroom stall and cried for like 5 minutes because I was just like flipping out. I didn't know what I was going to do. Stuck in London all by myself with no money, nowhere to go. And eventually the British Airways attendant guy, he was like, hey, so I was looking at the itinerary and we can get you a flight to Germany and then you can fly from Germany to Cyprus at like 3 a.m. if you want to do that. And I was like, I mean, I don't have any money to pay for it. And they're like, well, if you can get a hold of your tour manager, we can work that out. So eventually they landed wherever they were flying from. And I called him up and I said, hey, this is the deal. He's like, cool, good job. So I had to wait around the airport for like 2 more hours. And then I flew to Germany. And then I got to Germany. I had to wait like 6 hours in the airport there till like 3 a.m. and I just kept waking up every time they'd call, and because I didn't understand what they were saying, so I was like, "Is this my flight?" They're like, "No, no, no, go sit down." I was like, "Okay, is this my flight?" "No, no, no, go sit down." I was like, "Oh shit!" So it was finally time for my flight. I flew to the island of Cyprus or whatever. I got there at like 4 in the morning, and then I went to I met the taxi driver with his little sign. It was nobody in the airport, of course. It's 4 in the morning. It's pretty much empty. So I was like, "Hey, let me go get a shot real quick since it's an hour drive way out to the amphitheater." And he's like, "Okay." I was like, "Well, my card hasn't been working, so I'm going to test it real quick to see if I can even order this shot." So I give it to the bartender, and I was like, "Just scan it for like 1 penny." He's like, "Okay." So he scans it for 1 penny. He goes through just fine. I'm like, "Well, I guess it works here." So I order a double shot of whiskey, take it, give him the card, declined. I'm like, "Motherfucker, again." So I'm stuck out again. I have to borrow money from this taxi driver who doesn't know me from Adam to pay for this fucking shot. I'm like, "My tour manager will pay you when we get to the amphitheater in an hour or whatever." So we get to the amphitheater. I wake my tour manager up. I have him pay for my shot, and then I have to go focus and do all the programming for the lighting that I should have been doing all day, but I couldn't because I was waiting in airports trying to get there. So it's like, I don't know, sunrise on Cyprus, which is right next to Greece or whatever, in this giant amphitheater. I'm all by myself because everybody's working all day. They went home, they went to sleep in their naps or whatever. All by myself programming the light show, and that was fucking killer. To be like in that kind of situation, like have that kind of I don't want to say power because it's like just me doing all that, but it's like it was cool to be trusted with that kind of responsibility and be able to handle that all by myself and get that done through all those adversities of am I even going to make it there? And then we went home the next day, and that was one hell of a weekend.
Hell yeah. Shit, I couldn't imagine. I mean, like, I'm sure it's gonna happen somewhere down the line because I do music too, and it's like I haven't gone overseas yet. I'm looking forward to when I do eventually. Hopefully, eventually, and I just hope to not have to deal with airports like that. I mean, like,
I mean, it's the same in America or overseas. It's just the whole structure of everything is just so overbearing. When you walk in, you're just like, am I gonna do this right?
Yeah, like you walking into the airport, just like you feel a pressure in your chest is like, oh, don't fuck up.
Yeah, don't fuck up. Like I gotta be here. I can't miss this. I can't do this. I put it in my pockets. And then to be overseas and know you can't just call your parents to come pick you up.
Yeah.
You are fucking alone.
Yeah.
It's pretty scary being alone like that because, and there's been a couple times when I've been overseas like stuff. Where I've been in a situation where I've been alone and had to rely on my wits or whatever else, and I don't know why Europeans get a bad rap. Everybody I've ever come in contact with is cool as shit. We played. Well, I was with 7 of us. We played like the Bristol Academy in Britain or whatever, and I was in charge of doing band assistant stuff like laundry and dressing room stuff as well as lighting. And I went to go get their laundry done for the stage clothes, washed and whatever. This laundromat like a couple blocks up the road, and I didn't realize it was like we close at 5 laundromat kind of thing. I give them all the stage clothes and I go back to do the sound check, and then when I come back, the business is closed. There's nobody there, and all the band's stage clothes are in that business. And I'm like, oh my god, I just lost all of our stage clothes because we're leaving that country that night. We're not staying around, and these people aren't gonna be open tomorrow. And luckily, the lady that lived upstairs from that place was coming down and going to a party. And she was like, do you need help? And I was like, yeah, I need to get in touch with these owners. And she's like, they're gone for the day. I was like, I understand that. That's why I'm freaking out. And she's like, well, I have the number to their son. I can try to get in contact with him. I was like, that would be amazing. She calls the son up and she's like, it's going to be like 25 minutes till he gets here. It's like, cool. So we sat down. She waited with me and she had like a big jug of sangria she just made for this party. And she's like, you want some drinks? I was like, yeah. So we're drinking. She invites me to the party and stuff. I'm like, I have to go do this concert, but I appreciate it. And finally, the sun shows up and I get the clothes back, thank God, just in time for them to change into them and go on stage. But what she was, when you get into a place where you're like, oh man, I think I'm fucked. There's always somebody there. It's like, hey man, we got you. We got you taken care of. It was so cool to see that everywhere we went over in Europe. America, it's not so much. America, you kind of the fuck out of here, you know? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What do you need? Nothing, we're closed. Get the fuck out of here. We're not trying to help you at all. So you know, and places over in Europe, uh, we played a lot of shitholes. What you would determine a shithole in Europe compared to here, kind of a not a big room, really dirty, really damp, blah blah blah. But it's so much more fun over there because it's just so unique, I guess you could say. It's part of you feel like you're playing part of history when you're playing in those dingy dungeons and stuff down there. You know?
Yeah, because it's not something that a lot of people in America are gonna go see. It's like a majority of people that live in America are probably never gonna leave America. So being
Right.
able to go over there and play for the people that are over there and give yourself get a chance to be in front of those people that otherwise you would have to swim thousands and thousands and thousands of miles to get to. I mean,
Yeah, or I take a one-way trip there, you know. But it was, you know, it's just it's cool to see how all the cultures there are different but exactly the same. You know,
yeah,
despite the language barriers on items and stuff like that, the rules are pretty much give or take exactly the same. You know, Amsterdam, of course, there's different rules. It's free down there. You can buy mushrooms and stuff, but you can't just do what you want. You know, if you were smoking weed, you couldn't go into a bar that has sold alcohol, and the ones that sold alcohol, you couldn't smoke weed in. Don't ask me why, but that was the deal. So,
can't
you
get
know,
crossed.
yeah, you know, they didn't want me vomiting or whatever else, I guess, you know. But you could do either one, you know. It's just kind of I like going over there because you see different cultures and you get to experience different things, but it also makes you appreciate what you got here. Uh, there's a lot of freedoms that people just don't understand. Other people don't have. When we were going from I was with Ice Earth, we were going from Jerusalem. We just took it like 3 days off in Jerusalem and Tel Aviv. We went down. We saw like the Jesus stone where the cross was. All we got. We're all wearing like death metal T-shirts, walking around fucking where Jesus was walking. People were like, "What the fuck is going on here?" But we didn't care. And then we were going to Africa from there, but we had to scratch off the Jerusalem stickers from our passports, so we didn't catch any eyes from the African securities. They were like, "We don't want you coming into our country because you were there." You know, like that kind of shit got really nervous. You know, really fast because other countries can detain you for whatever you want, whatever they want. You know, so you have to kind of play your favorites there and just watch your P's and Q's in a lot of those other countries. You don't have to watch here. You know,
Yeah, I get
that
that.
was that's a reality that hits you real hard. You're like, oh shit, really? Like when we got to Africa, we were driving around to our hotel, and our hotel just seemed like a big giant drug dealer's mansion. It was abandoned. That's what it felt like to us. And driving there, the whole road is just full of construction buildings. They look like paintball fucking arenas. They're just half built, just left, half built, just left. I'm like, this is fucking crazy, man. They hadn't had heavy metal there in like 10 years, and then we ended up having to cancel that show because the gear was just not up to par at the venue we were playing at. So we had to disappoint a whole bunch of people that, you know, were ready to finally see a metal show. We had to like sneak out through the crowd and be like, oh, we'll be right back. No, we won't. No, we won't.
Yeah,
But
that
yeah,
sucks.
that's the beauty of the overseas, and they just love music more over there, especially down south too. You know, the South America, they love music down there too.
Yeah, yeah. And it's like even when like I did a festival last year and we had people we had a couple of bands from three bands from Australia, one from Spain and a couple from UK over for the festival. And it was just like their energy towards music is like you meet a band here in America and they're like, "Yeah, I've been playing the same songs for the past 35 years." And then you got some bands that are like, "Yeah, I'm constantly writing new stuff." And then it's like you meet these bands from Australia and like everywhere else in the world and it's like we breathe music. It doesn't matter
Yeah,
what genre. We love music.
we love it. Old songs, new songs, happy to play them, happy to jam them. You know, just happy people are there. And then you know, yeah, bands from America are like, I played that place. I don't need to play that place again. You know, oh, nobody's gonna show up. I'm not even gonna bother playing. It's like wrong attitude to have, man. You know, nobody owes you anything.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like if anybody comes to your shows, that's a blessing. If anybody buys your CD, that's a blessing. If you have to play the same song for 30 years, that's a blessing.
Yeah.
That's why you wrote. That's why you wrote the song. You know, look at Metallica. I mean, when they do shows, they don't play their new songs. they still play Kill 'Em All songs. They still play Ride the Lightning songs, you know?
When I was talking about playing the same song, I meant like cover songs. I wasn't referring to like
Oh,
making new material. I have no problem with people who play the same material as long as it's their own material. But like cover bands, like I can't really get behind the whole shtick of cover bands because it's like you're trying to ride the coattail of somebody else's art. I can understand and I can understand envisioning and rewriting songs, but like just straight up playing covers to a T, I that bothers me a little bit.
now are you talking about cover bands or tribute bands?
Tribute bands are a little bit different. I do not mind tribute bands. Tribute bands are like,
I'm the opposite.
oh, you're the
Tribute
opposite.
Tribute bands can suck a dick. Tribute bands are like people that support tribute bands are taking away from the original artist, I think, in terms of just anybody can do that. No, just anybody can't do that just because you think you can.
See,
It's like you don't have any confidence in yourself, so you're gonna play something else. You're gonna try to be somebody else. Cover bands that play a random thing of covers, they're just like musicians. I don't consider them bands. I consider them groups of musicians that play songs.
see, but the way that I kind of view tribute bands is more like you know what sound these people are making. You know what you're getting with this band when you go to book them. Whereas like with cover bands, it's like, okay, your name is whatever the band name is, and
Yeah.
it's like you don't know exactly what covers you're getting because and it could just be like covers that nobody's heard before, or it could be like like they do really good covers like so it just depends on the band for me because like if you're doing only covers for your whole set, to me that's just kind of like a bit of a bum out because it's like if I wanted to hear that, I would have gone and listened to like the original artist, whereas it's like if they only have like one or two covers in their set and it's just to like add flair to their set, like hey, we kind of some of our songs are kind of influenced by these people, so we kind of get this vibe, and then it's kind of like crowd hook attention, but you're mostly focusing on your own stuff. I see.
Yeah.
I'm a big original guy. I like just if I had a choice over anything, it would be original bands.
Yeah, if you're in a band, you need to be playing originals. We would throw a cover if we had to do like a longer set or something like that. We would throw like a cover in there that we all knew. Like we used to play back in the day when we started. We'd have half Metallica songs, half Marilyn Manson songs, half Tool songs, and half originals. That's what we did back in the day because everybody wanted to hear those songs. But when we grew up, it's like bands that throw covers in now. It's very situational based. Sometimes I feel like if they throw a cover in, it's them trying to say we're as badass as these guys, but then they don't ever play the song as good as they should. And
Yeah.
you're like, y'all should have done that cover. If you're gonna do that cover, make sure the cover either is as authentic as it can be, or it's like you said, updated, interpreted to be more fun.
Yeah, and another thing with covers is like if I want a good cover, like I want something that's gonna be like something that you feel like. I don't want something that everybody else has covered. I want a song that's like close to you and it's like one that you can feel, like one that we can feel you feeling when you're performing it. Like that's what to me like a cover should be, like one that's you still feel like you can put as much emotion into it as the original artist. That's when you do covers is when you should do that, in my opinion.
Yeah. We did for our second EP. We covered Breed, but we put it only on the. So if you buy the CD, which you can't do yet because they haven't printed them yet, but the CD itself will come with an intro and an outro track, which there's no reason to upload those to streaming music. You know what I'm saying? Nobody just listens to just the intro track. It's just a noise or whatever. So those are kind of like Easter eggs for people that buy the actual album. And if we put the, I can say it here hopefully because I'm new enough that people won't go viral or anything just yet. So it'll still be a secret. But on the outro track, it's like an explosion or whatever, like the song's over. But then we did the old school wait 4.5 minutes, and then we start Breed, Nirvana song Breed, and we waited I think we waited like 4 minutes and like something seconds and something milliseconds, which is the date and time that he died. So if you wait that long after the thing, Breed will start, but it's only if you buy the album and you're only gonna get to hear it that way. And most people hear the outro and they'll stop the track and not think, why is there 10 more minutes of track on here, But so we tried to cover Breed, and everybody kept telling us, "You guys need to do a cover for YouTube. Do a cover for YouTube. It'll get you popular." And I'm like, I don't want to get popular off being the band that did somebody else's song. You know, because then they're gonna always think of that song when they think of that band, and that's not. We're not trying to pretend to be revamping somebody else's song. Plus, songs that really mean a lot to me are stuff that our band really wouldn't be appropriate covering properly. Like I really like Nine Inch Nails, stuff like that. Stuff that would be weird to cover in our Lamb of God style band.
Yeah, I can understand that.
So it's like, that would have to be a separate project, a whole separate thing. I don't want to metal it up if I don't have to. I like the way it goes, I would try to do it like that. But that's just kind of, like I said, me living out those fantasies of wanting to play that kind of music, which is kind of why I don't like tribute bands, because it's just, you're just living out somebody else's dreams. You're not being very original about things,
Yeah, I could definitely understand that.
So that's I mean, music is music, but some people are musicians and some people are artists.
Definitely. I can agree with that statement 1,000%.
There's definitely a difference between the two. Granted, there's nothing wrong with musicians, Musicians are fucking killer usually compared to artists. Artists are not very talented at all when it comes to technical stuff. That's why they're artists and not musicians, because they can only kind of do certain things.
Yeah.
So, when you can do everything, you have no signature flair, I guess,
I get that.
My take anyway. Plus, I don't want to have to learn a whole bunch of covers. Because you got to learn how they properly did them or something. If you don't do them like they did, it always sounds weird. You got people going, "That's not how you play that. You play it like this." And you're fucking going through fucking guitar school every fucking comment, Fuck all that shit.
Yeah.
No one can tell me how to play my stuff wrong or right, so I'm just going to play my stuff.
I completely agree with that.
Yep.
Well, we are nearing the end of the time of the podcast. Do you have any final words for the boys and the girls in the chat?
Oh, well, we're end already? Legalize it. Support all your local bands. If you love music, make sure you share it old school. Quit asking for money for share shit. Quit asking for fucking, compensation to share shit. Share shit because it's cool. If you like something, share it because it's cool, That's the only way people get anywhere right now. As opposed to fucking just a popularity contest. It needs to be an actual talent contest.
Absolutely. Word of mouth.
Needs to be some kind of gatekeeping in terms of this is actually good music and not just, hey, this is my buddy's band, everybody like them.
Hell yeah.
As soon as the internet opened up to where everybody can do it, it's almost like, but everybody doesn't need to. And now that everybody is, people that work really hard are getting lost in the fucking jump.
Absolutely. Yeah. Before we do end things, I'm gonna let you keep talking. Give me just 1 second.
Yeah, no worries.
I had such a great time on this interview that I would like to extend it and give you another shot on the podcast and give you on here for a second part. We'll have to be in contact for when that day is, but if you'd be interested in that, I'd love to have you back on here to chat about a little bit more about Descent, because I touched a little bit more on your past and what you went through and some of your favorite stories. So next time I'm gonna get on the band Descent and what you guys got coming up for the future, if you're all right with that.
I'm definitely all right with that, for sure. You can come check out Descent at these South by Southwest shows, 15th, 16th, and 17th, to kind of see what it's all about.
Absolutely.
Like I said, as in your face as we can be is the point. Get music back to being live again.
And I want it to be heavy as fuck.
It's heavy as fuck. It's definitely heavy as fuck. It's fucking brutal. If it's not brutal, turn it up.
Hell yeah. All right. Hell yeah, man. Thank you so much. Rock on, and we'll definitely catch you in the next one. But until next time, deuces.
Deuces.